Hello everyone, this is Ninja Girl, Sakura1 here, back with another Yashahime Princess Half-Demon review. This past weekend, we got Season 2, Episode 5, The Girl Named Rion, which, as I expected, just gave us more of her backstory, and, yeah, more information on her in general, which was actually very cool. I enjoyed the episode and found it quite sweet. So yeah, let's get into what happens and the meat of the episode, shall we? As to be expected, it picks up where episode 4 left off, with all the girls having escaped the barrier's illusions. Although Moroha, of course, never had to really worry about it, but nonetheless, the girls are there with Rion, and she does tell them she is indeed Kinemaru's daughter, and she goes on to explain more about the Kyuyukon route and why it's going to be so crucial for, of course, Towa to use in order to defeat her father. So, the Kyuyukon root has the ability to absorb massive amounts of demonic energy and expel it back. Sort of like the backlash wave. And because of that, it's like the one thing her father is truly afraid of. So, yeah. That's why Towa is going to need it. So there you go. And they're very curious as to why Rion would want to tell them that or help them with it. But she explains that her father has changed a lot. That now he only cares about fighting the strongest opponent, when once upon a time he was actually a very kind and loving father to her. And he would take her around the world and show her things, and they would spend time together, you know. And that scene was actually very sweet. But, yeah, he's just become too power hungry, and, yeah, she's not happy with him. And she also explains that, despite her father doing his best to protect her all the time, she did end up dying 600 years ago. So, that's why she was translucent, and we could see through her. It's not actually her, it's her spirit. But, even after that, Kinemaru could not let her go, so he decided to seal her spirit, her soul, at Mount Masubi, and he created the barrier, and she says, I'm glad you guys can even get through it, because a lot of people have tried, and never were able to get through it. So, yeah. He sealed her soul there, and he actually was only able to see her through the dream butterfly, interestingly enough. Or another dream butterfly. The one he uses is red. So, again, quite interesting. That's why he was saying before that he'd see her in his dreams. So, yeah. And Towa, after hearing this story, feels horrible for Rion, and even goes to hug her. Although she almost falls through because, again, Rion is a spirit, but she's grateful that they care about her so much, and yeah. She feels terrible about what happened to Setsuna after hearing about it. And she really wants to help. Because she knows that the path her father has taken is wrong. She wants to stop him. So yeah. But when they try to figure out how they can maybe help her and get her off the mountain, she doesn't really know. She does say that maybe if there was a way to sever the connection between me and my father, that might be one way I can get out of here. And that is when Setsuna's Naginata does kind of react. And she sees, again, the red thread of fate connecting her and Kinemaru. So she says, oh, wait a minute. I can see it. That must be the thread of fate connecting you to your dad. And if I sever this, that should free your spirit. Which, they were reluctant to free her spirit because they didn't want her to, you know, completely die, but she had accepted that if that would be the case. But, yeah. Once Rion hears this, she is shocked to hear that she could see it. And Setsuna explains that ever since she had gotten this Naginata, she's been able to see red strings of fate several times now. And, yeah. So she tells Setsuna, go ahead and do it. Sever my tie with my father. So, she does. She kind of messes up a little bit, but she slashes through the thread and the dream butterfly. Yeah. And then some kind of phantom version of Kinemaru shows up and tries to keep Rion there, tries to tell her, you can't leave, you know. And even grabs Rion, her spirit form, and drags her into this clay doll version of herself, which is where he sealed her soul when she died. And Rion begins to fight back. She's like, I don't want this anymore. You've gone down a wrong path. I don't want this anymore. I want to be free. I want out. And she fights back. And it's very similar to Urusue bringing back Kikyo, what happens next. Because this little doll was made from her bones and grave soil, she actually is able to reform a physical body. Like what Kikyo had, sort of. And she comes back, technically. She's still dead, but she has a new, you know, fake body. Like Kikyo. We don't know if she's gonna need soul collectors. Maybe not, because she is a demon. So, or she might even be half demon, but I'm thinking demon. It hasn't been stated one way or the other yet. But yeah. So, she finally has a body again, and the girls are happy for her and glad that she finally stood up to her father. And she starts playing this flute, which is also made from the Kyuikon root. It transformed into this shape. She plays it, and she starts crying, and says goodbye, father. So, yeah. As much as she loves her father, she knows he can't keep going on like this. He has to be stopped. And she has accepted it. So, yeah. And they're all ready to leave. The girls and Rion are ready to leave the mountain and finally get out of there. But Rion knew that he did have a backup plan. Hidemaru had a backup plan should she ever have the means to escape. There's huge forms of demons made out of energy. And, yeah. The girls cannot defeat them. They're that powerful. But Rion says, if I give you the flute and she tells Towa, if I give you this flute and you play it, you might be able to get the sword you need, and you might be able to stop them, and we can get out of here and destroy the barrier. So, she hands Towa the flute, she plays it, and that's when she gets her new sword. And yes, she is able to absorb these demonic phantom forms that were on the mountain as a backup plan to keep Rion there. And this is when we see the scene from the trailer where the three girls just high-five, and it's very cute. And all seems well. They're good. And they can finally leave. Of course, Hidemaru sensed the whole thing and was not happy about it, but yeah. So, they head down the mountain with Rion, and it seems like she's gonna join our girls for the rest of the journey, but when they get to the bottom, they find and run into Riku, who had the whole time been dealing at the entrance to the mountain. He had been dealing with a bunch of ogre demon things again. The same kind of things Setsuna had dealt with before. So yeah, he was taking care of them and had a whole pile of them even. But nonetheless, the girls run into him and are surprised to see him. And he is actually surprised to see Rion, who does recognize him because he was created before she was killed, I guess. So they do know each other. And yeah, she does get warned. Riku warns her, oh, don't look at me. Anything Hidemaru sees or hears through me, he'll be able to hear everything. So just, yeah. Turn away from me. But this gives Towa a little idea. And I actually like this scene a lot. So she goes like, so anything you see and hear, Hidemaru can hear and see as well. Huh? And she grabs Riku's face and it looks like she's gonna kiss him. But thankfully, she doesn't. And she just yells right into Riku's face. We got Rion out of there, Hidemaru. We are not going to give up. You better be ready for us. We are not going to give up. We are going to defeat you whether you like it or not. Basically, to summarize. So yeah. Which was pretty epic. I liked that scene. That was really, really hilarious. And I guess fitting for Towa, I suppose. So that was fantastic. And it kind of shook and shocked Riku a little bit. But yeah, he was happy about it, I guess. And Hidemaru did receive the message loud and clear. So Yeah. But then he decides that Rion should probably stay with him, because I guess he would keep her safe better than the girls. Or no, he says it's because you would probably slow the girls down, so it's best you stay with me. That's what it was. My bad. So, Rion takes off with Riku, and the girls are left to journey again on their own. And then they run into Sesshomaru and Jakin again. And, well, Sesshomaru talks to Setsuna, asking if she had been able to master her new Naginata again. She says, not exactly. I still kind of messed up when she's talking about when she cut the thread of fate connecting Rion and Kinemaru. She kind of messed it up, according to her. And Sesshomaru's like, ah, I see. And then, I think he took the Tenseiga out, and the dream butterfly, the blue one, that had been stealing Setsuna's dreams, shows up. And finally, Jakin and Sesshomaru explain what the dream butterfly is doing and what it was for. That it was keeping Rin alive by keeping her in stasis, basically, by stealing Setsuna's dreams. It was somehow keeping her in stasis and stopping that curse from spreading. So finally the girls know. Finally. And, well, Sesshomaru asked, flat out, I could kill the dream butterfly and you could sleep again. Or, I could leave things as they are, and you'll never sleep, but your mother will still be alive, so the choice is up to you. Do you want me to let you sleep, or do you want to save your mother? And Setsuna says, I want to save my mom. But, Sesshomaru being Sesshomaru, ends up killing the dream butterfly, which we know will make that curse spread, which is bad. But he tells Setsuna, you will finally be able to sleep again, and it's up to you to find a way to save your mother. And, yeah. Very, very interesting. He then even asked Moroha if she had met Inuyasha yet. And she was like, how do you know about that? Which, Sesshomaru, why do you do that? I wish he would just let Inuyasha Kagome out if he has the ability to. Wouldn't he just have to use the Black Pearl to let them out? Jeez. But, anyway, yeah. He just says, I see, and takes off with Jakin as usual with no answers. And then Setsuna, finally able to sleep, just starts passing out instantly. Probably just because of all the years of not sleeping catching up with her at last. So, and of course Towa at first freaks out. She's like, ah, Setsuna, are you okay? Are you okay? And Moro's like, calm down, she's just asleep, she's fine. Let her sleep. And Towa comes down and is like, okay, yeah, thank goodness. She's gonna be okay. And that's where the episode ends. I'm kind of worried about Setsuna, but she's fine. She's just sleeping. So yeah, overall, pretty good episode. I enjoyed it very much. I do hate that Sesshomaru teased Moroha about her father. But, yeah. And I also don't get why, if he could have killed the dream butterfly the whole time, why didn't he? I guess to keep Rin alive. I guess he didn't see any other way. And he didn't think his daughters would be strong enough yet to find another way, maybe? I guess that's the best logic, but yeah, either way. Good episode, though. Good episode, and I'm very excited for more. Next week, this week, I should say, because it's almost Saturday already, we're getting a Hisui-centered episode. And it seems like Setsuna is going to have to take the place of that awful princess from that one episode that should not have been a filler episode towards the end of season 1. I forget the princess's name, but she was freaking annoying. The only reason she had Moroha and the others there was because they got her kimono dirty. That princess. Ugh. Did not like her, but we'll see what happens. But either way, it's going to be mostly Hisui centered, so it should be cool. But yeah, I think that will do it for this video and this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, share it around if you want. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, where I do sometimes talk about Inuyasha. That link will be in the description below, as will the link to my Patreon. That will also be in the description below. I'd be forever grateful if you looked at it, but no pressure, of course. And yeah, until episode 6 of season 2, I will see you guys later.